Hey friends, in the previous video we discussed what is routing and how that works in Angular. In this video we are going to talk about what are query parameters inside Angular and what they do inside the Angular application. So basically query parameters are used to provide additional information to our server for further information and further processing of our data. They can be used to filter the things, they can be used to sort, they can be used to search the relevant keywords, etc. Let's say we have an application where we have employees data and they can have their IDs, their names and their roles, etc. And we want to restrict users based on their role, then we can use query parameters. Query parameters are like the parts of our URL after the question mark. Like we can have localhost 4200/employees, name is equal to John, etc. Now this is the query parameter that we can use inside our application. Now for that, first let's create two components like the NGGC employees for showing the employees data, and a restricted page, like we want to allow users to go to restricted page if their role is admin. So we'll say NGGC, or we can just say admin. Now we go to the employees component, and here let's create employees array, and we can just create it any array, and here we'll say first they will have to create their account, and let's say ID of type number is equal to 0. Here we will say the person can have name and their role. The role will be string and the name will also be a string. So here we will say const employee object is equal to ID will be this dot ID plus plus. We don't want to allow user to give his ID, just we will say ID will be incremented when each employee is created. So here we will say name and role. So now we will say this dot employees dot push employee. Let me just say it employee because it is each employee. So now let's make inputs here, wrap it inside the container. So we will say container, and here we can just take two inputs, input. Now you can use emit abbreviation inside VS Code to create similar components. If I wanted to have 10 inputs, then I can just create that component or that element by just multiplying and then how many elements that we want. Like here we have this input and we will have the multiply icon, and then we will say 5. Now it will create 5 element for us. They are useful because we don't have time to just writing input and text etc. So here we will say, now let me just select both, and here we will say class form control, and it will be empty to the bootstrap class for margin of 2, and here we can have the placeholder for both. And here we can say placeholder will be for name, and here the placeholder will be for role. So let me just create a button, and here we will say primary button. So create account. Here we will say when the button is clicked, you have to do some action, and some action will be create account. Here we will have to have a template reference variable. I have discussed about template reference variable in my previous videos. You can check that out. So I will here we will say hash name. Here we will say role. Now these just are variable, and they give the value about that element. Now this is the input element, so it will give us value of that input element. So it will say, we will say name dot value. So the second parameter is role dot value. And let's have another container for displaying the data. So here we'll say, you can also use emit abbreviations. Like here I have to put the li or the list elements inside the UL, then I can just do it by having the greater than sign and just the element that we want inside that component or that element, then we can just use the greater than sign, and it is created now. We will say ng for let employee of employees, and here we will say employee dot id and here we can say, sorry, here we have to put that id. So here we will say name will be like employee dot name, and just the last thing role will be role, employee dot role, and just now start our application. So here we will say ng s-o. Let me check whether why it's not working. So the thing is that we have to have the route for both components. We have the slash employees, but we don't have the path to that component. So here we will say employees, and here we will say component will be employees component, and the path match will be full. And let's check it again. So as you can see, this is working. Now let's go here and we can just say empty2 for margin of 2. And so let's create this. Name will be like John, and role will be like, it can be admin or anything like that. So as you can see, this is the ID, this is the name, and this is the role, and we can have another. Here we will say editor. So its role is editor. Now we want to navigate the users when they have the role. Based on the role, we want to allow users to go to different components. Now if the role is like admin, then we allow the people to go to the restricted page, otherwise we will send it back to the home page. Like inside home page we have your role is not admin. So inside the home page we have your role is not admin, and we can just have the admin page another. So we will send the employee. Let me just we have to have the query parameter for the role, like we'll say role is equal to admin, etc. So we'll say private route of activated route. Now the activated route gives us information about the current route. So we'll say this dot route dot query params dot subscribe, or we can just add the query parameters from here. So we will say like the router link will be for the home page and the admin page. The home page can be for the persons who are not admins, and the admin page can be for admin, only for admin. So now we will have to have the admin here. Let's copy this, and here we'll say admin, and here will be an admin component. Now let's go to the employees, and here we'll say router link is equal to, like we'll have to go to the admin. We will say and if employee dot role is equal to admin, then we have to say admin. And let's copy this. And we will also have to have the query parameters for this. So we will say role employee dot role, and here we'll say employee dot role also, and here we'll say /home. Not admin. Now it will automatically detect if the role is admin, then it will have this like this router link. Otherwise, if the person has role not admin, then it will have this not admin. So let's create a person like John, and role will be admin. Now it has given access the person that he has access to the admin page. So when we click this, as you can see, this is saying only for admin, and this is the query parameter added to that route. Now let's create another one. Like here we will say Smith, and role will be editor, and let's create. And so it's not being here, like the route is not there. So the role one, let me check, editor and Smith, still it's not going there. Let me check. Failed to execute set type or element. Query parameter is not a valuable attribute name. So we were missing that part. No, let's do this. Let me just, so here we'll say Smith role is equal to editor. Let's create. So it will say you are not admin and you have to go to the not admin page. And as you can see, this is saying your role is not admin, and this is the query parameter that we needed and that we were discussing about. So this is added to it, added to this route. So that gave us access that we can restrict the user based on their role. So thanks for watching the video. In the next video, we will be learning more topics and that are inside our Angular, and stick to it as we will be building an entire e-commerce application at the end of this series.